Our third story tonight, these are the quiet times for my next guest. Bill Maher will be appearing at the Civic Center in Peoria, Illinois on December 3rd, and you can spare us both the Will It Play in Peoria jokes. And it's the Star Plaza Theater in Merrillville, Indiana on December 4th. On the 10th, the Brady Theater in Tulsa and the Silver Legacy in Reno on December 11th. 3rd Peoria, 4th Merrillville, 10th Tulsa, 11th Reno. Mr. Maher has survived another first half of a season on the television, from fake joints smoked to that little reminder that it's always worth it to keep the tapes of those old shows of yours, because you never know what parts may be useful later on. Much later on. The battle that is Real Time with Bill Maher begins anew on HBO on January 14th. But right now, Bill Maher is here, and I welcome him with the reminder that not only are the tapes of the old Christine O'Donnell interviews useful, but so are tapes of old Robert Klein interviews from 1977. Good evening, sir.
Keith, what a yeoman you are to do all those plugs for me. Thank you.
That's only the first and second times. We'll get to the third set of plugs later on in the show. Christine O'Donnell's a wonderful place to start. Do you take any comfort in the fact that America did not elect her or Angle in Nevada, or in fact did not elect a majority of the Tea Partiers?
Well, I'm a cockeyed optimist, Keith, so of course I take a lot of comfort in that. Yes, I think America did draw a line. And when the nuts started falling out of the nut bag this year, they said, yeah, even us, the electorate of America, the crack baby that we are, is going to say enough is enough. They did it, by the way, also, I think, with campaign ads. You can say almost anything in a campaign ad, but they did not like Alan Grayson calling his opponent Taliban Dan. Yep. They didn't like the Aqua Buddha of Rand Paul's opponent. But yeah, I thought you mentioned Sharon Angle. I thought that was a good race to kind of be the epitome for what was going on in America, because here you had Harry Reid, who of course we all know is very uninspiring, dusty, old Harry Reid. He looks like the druggist in a Frank Capra movie. But you know what? He was a guy who got a lot done in the Senate, as opposed to the crazy lady with 20 dead cats in the basement. That was the choice, and it was that close. So, yeah, I take some comfort, but not a lot.
But Bill, how are Republicans getting away with spinning November 2nd as this landslide? I mean, they have done a wonderful job of convincing their own people that they swept the Democrats out. They didn't even take the Senate under what, probably were the most adverse circumstances Democrats could have created for themselves.
Yes, but they didn't take the Senate because they had people like Christine O'Donnell, as you well know and have pointed out. If it wasn't for those crazy teabaggers in a couple of races, they would have. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. It was a gigantic victory for the Republicans, but they shouldn't kid themselves either. People weren't really voting for them. People were just voting against the Democrats. I think I saw a poll right before the election that said congressional Republicans, their disapproval rating was like 63%, and Democrat disapproval was like 60%. Only Democrats can lose in a popularity contest to someone less popular than they are.
Well,
but yeah, I don't. Yeah.
That takes us back to the White House. When you heard the president say yesterday that he wants to work harder at bipartisanship in the next 2 years, were you as encouraged as I was?
Yeah, no. I don't understand why he sticks with that. I have not doubted him up until this last season, post-election, when he did not seem to get mad. He seemed to be beaten. He looked like Johnny Fontaine in The Godfather, when the Godfather has to say, "You can act like a man." Bipartisanship, I think, is one of those things that is so highly overrated. It's one of those things when a pollster asks people, what's the problem in Washington? Do you think there should be more bipartisanship? Oh, of course there should. I don't think people care. I think people want people to get something done, especially the people who voted for Barack Obama. We would like to see something get done. I thought at this point in his tenure, I would be making jokes about our first black president and what a gangster he is, and how he's